Right, so welcome back everyone. Well, I have to first share this with people, otherwise no one is actually watching. Uh, so Vyom is in P1, Pratham in P2. Let me quickly.
I shared the link.
You did of my
Yeah. Yeah,
stream?
of
Okay,
your.
okay, fine.
You're gonna get a substantial amount of viewers now, Malak, because of technical issues.
Right,
We'll just call it that. So
yeah.
Vyom is still in P1. What happened to Quick Killer?
Quick Killer is down the order, P13 for him, and VFix is just overtaken Yash Gosalia, so that's VFix into P1. Pratham is
P4,
on the
P4.
back.
VFix is P4.
P4 Pratham is on the back of Vyom and he's trying to go around the outside, has not made it, and Chip Shima is very interested in taking that position. But here goes, it's 3 wide almost, but Pratham has lost a couple of positions. Can he swoop it around the outside? He has left the track to make that overtake, but he retains his P2. And oh, I think he's gonna lose it now as VFix is also getting interested, and VFix has taken P3 from Pratham, who's losing time. Hand over fist. Oh, there's some contact there. I think that is Yash Kosalia is going down the order, and I'm not sure if that's damage to his wing. His teammate Teves goes past him now.
So I think there might be some damage right there. You never know for certain, but if a driver suddenly loses pace, it's either due to a loss of momentum or what do you call it, damage. In which case, Gosalia's case, it does look like there is damage. Natsumi, meanwhile, is racing Hushraf. And these two have always seemed inseparable in F2 because for some reason it always boils down to Natsumi versus Hushraf at some point in the race.
And there's a battle for the lead as Vyom is being put under pressure from Chip Shima. Chip Shima absolutely.
They're leaving each other the cars with. You love to see this kind of racing. Gosalia already has a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting right there. And VFix meanwhile is just following because there might be an incident with the way these two are driving right now. If I'm Chip Shima, I'll wait for the DRS and then from there onwards on this track it becomes a DRS zone. DRS train, I mean, with the way the track is. So
It is, but now VFix is on the back of both of them. Can he get both? I'm not sure he can, but Chip Shima will definitely try.
Because he doesn't have the wing open, because the DRS will get activated this lap. So if Slipstream alone is not enough to get it done.
And Gupta's in the pits.
So Gupta might have had damage after saying that this was his chance to get P2 in the championship. There is a bit of a uphill task for him right now. He has to do well in the feature. Gosalia gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Yes, it did. So Jin, are you in the lobby or?
I'm not in the lobby. I'm doing what is called the third eye commentating by watching some.
Can you? An error has occurred. I can't invite anyone.
So we'll try it for the feature race. Then let's just keep on board with the sprint race for now. The way it is. This game my game developed an error and it just kicked me out of the session for that. So, yeah, you love to see it, but here we go right now. VFix, everyone is in DRS trains of each other. So from 1st till 6th place onwards, it's a huge DRS train. Shadow meanwhile has fallen a bit back, but luckily for him, Pratham has gotten a 3-second time penalty. So you know how hard he's driving right now to catch up to VFix.
Yeah, and Chip Shima once again on the back of Vyom. This time he will have DRS until the final braking zone. Does he make the move now or does he wait until the start-finish straight?
The start-finish straight is the better overtaking opportunity unless you have such fresh tires on the other person that you can essentially just breeze past them. And I hope heading into
VFix gonna get both of them here. Beautiful exit from VFix and goes racecraft as well. He'll go down the inside. He doesn't have enough space. He'll have to go in the middle of both of them maybe. And let's see if he's brave enough to outbrake Vyom and Chip Shima both. VFix tries to hang it around the outside, and that is job done.
That should be a move done. Vyom tries to dive down the inside. He's gonna cut the track for this, but he won't have the momentum necessary to make it to the next set of corners. So VFix for now. If I'm VFix, the best position right now is P2, and the best overtaking opportunity is either lap 9 or lap 10. If at the beginning of lap 10 he gets through, then he's won the race. That is the kind of a track Jeddah is, where you'd think that leading a race is more advantageous, but it's not. In Jeddah, certainly it's not. So let's see. VFix meanwhile seems to have a lot of pace, whatever setup he's taken, which is not Sumi's setup. He is making good use of it. Meanwhile, Vyom as such is falling behind them. And I think Chips, Shima and VFix, even though they're not in the same party chat, their goal must be the same right now. For the top two to just drag each other along and break the train to the third position. So they are the only ones who battle it out towards the end.
So currently everyone from P1 to P7 are within a second of each other, as Not Sumer and Hushraf are battling. Let's see what happens there. They have been side by side for a couple of occasions already, but Not Sumer has to stay behind. Hushraf, in fact, is now putting pressure on Pratham, who has almost lost DRS but just about has it on Vyom.
So right now the top three are doing the smart thing. The top, it should ideally you'd like it to be the top two, but the top three are doing a smart thing by breaking through the DRS train. So if once Pratham falls out of DRS train, Hushraf will have a lot of aggressive driving to do in order to make up the position. VFix meanwhile has gotten past Chip Shima, and if he has DRS right now, the only goal VFix has is to extend the lead. As such, we are watching on board from Vyom right now. Chip Shima will head into T1 still in first place. I think VFix backed off the throttle there so that he'd get DRS rather than be the one who DRS is activated on.
Yeah, and further behind, Not Sumer has finally overtaken Hushraf. So now his next target is Pratham, who seems to be struggling but is still within touch of the top three.
In F2 especially, with the way these cars are, a quali setup and a race setup make a massive difference. So maybe Pratham set himself up for one lap of pace rather than the entirety of the race stint. And I don't blame him for this because not many people know how setups in F2 properly work. So to understand the fundamentals of it is a bit different from Formula 1. But let's see how it goes right now. I don't think the top three have any warning so far. Vyom might have one for corner cutting, for track extending, but
oh my god, then I'm losing my mind here. We are 4-1 up.
And in other news right there, as you heard from the ecstatic voice of the host of this
I don't know how that this is happening. This is like FIFA of me playing Nuption. That's the scoreline. I mean, I can't think of anything else. Danny Alves.
He is P12 right now. Nuption, Azun all behind each other. Nuption 12, Azun P13. They are all chasing Abdul Samad, but Nuption has fallen way behind Abdul Samad right now. Look at that beautiful helicopter shot. And once again, Chip Shima. Oh, Vyom dives down the inside of Chip Shima. That very well could have been an incident right there, but it's not. So Chip Shima lets VFix go just before the final corner starts. I'd say that is some pretty smart driving there by Chips.
And VFix retains the lead, but Chip Shima is going side by side. Now Chips has the lead, and he will have the inside line for the next very tight left-hander. And this is an almighty battle for P1.
P1 right now, because first to third are all involved in this. But the more they battle, the more P4, P5, P6 also come into this battle. So Jeddah, I mean, honestly, like, it's a good track for such kinds of racing, even though there's only one pure overtaking zone and the other are chances that you have to take. It's good to see, and Pratham gets another 3-second time penalty. So either he's pushing very hard or there's something that but the limits are not with him today, so he's breaking all the limits as he drives right now. Nova West meanwhile has jumped up to P7 from P16, and now he'll chase, and now his shadow is keeping up with him though. On such a track, this is one of those tracks where it is possible to do it. Hushraf meanwhile is behind Natsumi. Pratham seems to have gotten a very good exit. Sumi got a very compromised exit right there from Hushraf's POV. That is what I saw. 60% of the race will be done right now as soon as they cross the start-finish straight. As such, VFix is still behind Chip Shima, and Chip Shima will slow down again in the final DRS zone so that he keeps getting DRS. And I'd say this is brilliant driving here from Chips, what he's doing. And Vyom has fallen outside DRS, so now it's a battle between the top two.
And Pratham getting in on the action. He is very close to Vyom. I think he might go for a move here.
Did something happen to Vyom? Does he have?
Yeah, he lost a lot of time. I hope he doesn't have damage, but he's gonna get eaten alive on the straight. Chip Shima and VFX in the background, or rather the foreground. Chip Shima has taken the lead once again, or has retained the lead, and Vyom is now falling one more position. Is behind Hushraf now, as Nova has a time penalty.
Yes. You don't. I mean, Nova is someone who does drive very on the limit of these cars, so not surprising to see him get a time penalty 3 seconds, especially in a track like Jeddah where the corners can be a bit inconsistent, because some corners you can completely skip, while others, you just go a little wide and the game gives you an extending track limits warning. So right now with the penalty situation, you can see 6 seconds, the gap, 6 seconds of penalty already for Pratham. Khusrav has got bust. So Vyom has lost a lot of time. So I'm not 100% sure as to what exactly is happening right now. But yeah.
Yeah, Khusrav around the outside of Vyom, and I think no, it was was it some Vyom or was it? I think it was Pratham. Around the outside, he went Khusrav, and there was
Pratham
some
has dropped
contact.
all the way to P7. Now Khusrav, the good thing for Khusrav is he's 1.8 seconds ahead of the guy behind him. That is his own younger brother Vyom. But the problem for Khusrav again is that he's 1.7 seconds behind, and no matter how fast he is in sector 2, once the DRS zone hits, he'll always lose time to the drivers in front of him. So right now it's a very tricky balancing act that Khusrav has to maintain.
Oh, look at that! It's 4-5 wide almost through the final corner. So many position changes. I think there was some contact as well. Nova West is there. Shadow Sword, Vyom, Pratham. 5 cars you can, as Arava said, you can drop a blanket and cover all of them. Shadow Sword is trying to go around the outside of everyone there. Nova breaks early, and Shadow Sword might have had the move on Vyom, or Pratham rather, but can he get Vyom as well?
That is so nice to see. When Vyom was down the inside of turn 1 of Pratham left him a car's width right there. It's such a shame sometimes when people try to do an overtaking move like that and they end up getting taken out. But
yeah, goes not somewhere and all that. I think he overtook Noah off the track.
Oh yes, but I think he did. So I think he might have to cede position. I don't know. That's
yeah, he's giving the position back. I think he's going the position back, and that is sensible.
Unlike Max Verstappen, this position was given back cleanly by not so much. So
without breaking Nova's front wing. Now Husserl has caught up to the front too, and VFX until thus far, I think he's just saving. I don't know what he's saving. Oh, Azun has retired. That's in the pits, so never mind that. So he has been saving his tires maybe until he wants to make a last lap overtake. Not Somer gets past Pratham, who has continued to fall down the order. Can Nova follow suit there? But now the top 3 are very close.
I think the problem with Pratham is I think he drives medium traction control, and on a track like this where utmost power is necessary, you can't keep up with someone who has no traction control. So as of now, if Khusrav dives on the inside of Chipshima, which he does, it's 3. Oh my god, it's 3 wide heading into the final corner. VFX will keep
Chipshima, what happened there? Well, you'll see it maybe in a moment.
I just saw it right now. I think this was Khusrav's car. I'm not 100% sure about it.
Yeah, it was Khusrav's car, but I'm not sure the two made any contact for Chipshima's car to...
Yeah, it happens like that.
Yeah, like that. But Khusrav has to... Oh, that was VFX in fact.
Yeah, VFX was the one who hit the wall. And
oh my god, I thought it was Chipshima, so apologies for that. And yeah, so VFX has lost a lot of time.
Yes, but VFX, even with the broken front wing that he has right now, major damage, he should be able to keep P3. So he's lost this race because of that incident right now. I have no idea what happened right there. But yeah, Chipshima is now outside of a second of Khusrav. He's made it back to the 1 second barrier that he needs, and if Khusrav starts the last lap with 1 second ahead, he's gonna win this race as things stand.
Unless, currently following the battle between Not Sumer, Shadow Sword and Nova West. Nova West still languishing in P7, and
you love to see something though on such a track. No safety cars in the sprint race, so that is a beautiful thing. VFX, meanwhile, because of Vyom holding everyone up, VFX has, in a way, he's made certain that P3 could be his, but of course, with that broken front wing, I'm not sure how much time he's going to lose.
Oh, here goes Nova! No! Oh, it was just the smallest of the margins through which he tried to go through, and Nova West has had a contact with Not Sumer, who's now trying to overtake Vyom, but Vyom is fighting back. Chipshima has a 1.8 second lead going into the final lap of the race.
No, Khusrav has a 1.8 second lead. It says so on
the stream. Oh, I've just got it completely wrong there. But yeah, Khusrav with a mighty lead, and I think he will have this. Not Sumer, Shadow Sword, and Vyom going 3 wide. I think Shadow Sword and Vyom teammates. I think they are in this.
Yes, they are. They are in this race.
And Let's see what happens between Vyom and Shadow Sword. They give each other enough space. Shadow Sword is off the track once again. He's already had 9 seconds worth of time penalties. But look at, oh no, that's contact once again, and that is Vyom, I think, in the wall. Not so much benefiting from that.
Forced wide by Shadow has been forced off track by Vyom. Vyom. There he goes. Okay,
and so Barcelona have conceded in all that. Not Sumer now on the back of Shadow Sword. I think the lead is sorted. The front three are sorted. Not Sumer will get P4 either ways because he has 3 seconds of time penalty. Shadow Sword has 9 seconds.
Unless Nupshan can catch, but I don't think he doesn't have enough laps.
Yeah, he's pretty far behind. But Nupshan will finish ahead of Shadow Sword, so that is some respite for him. But yeah, we have seen a lot of battling and a few unfortunate incidents as well in this sprint race. I can't even begin to imagine what will happen in a feature race where there will be pit stops involved.
Yes, and of course the mandate has already been put out by the stewards that if you get time penalty for cutting either the pit exit or the pit entry, that time penalty sticks with you. So people have to be very, very careful about how they attempt a pit lane entry into Jeddah. Especially, it can be a bit dodgy sometimes how the game treats it. So
yeah, and that is the end of the race. Hushrav has crossed the line in P1, 3 second gap to Chip Shima. VFix in P3. Not Sumer does get P4. Nupshan ahead of Pratham and Shadow Sword both in P5. Pratham finishes P6. He was on the front.
Nupshan is carrying his team right now. His teammate finishing in 15th place with 11 seconds of penalties will be racing Gupta. So yeah, a pretty interesting race. An incident surely for the stewards to look into in the sprint race. Well, Hushrav and VFix seem to have made some sort of contact, which forced VFix, which caused VFix's front wing to break. So we shall see what happens with that, of course, later. But yeah, Hushrav takes the win, and once the final guys cross there, we can head on to the feature race. This blind commentating thing is fun though, watching someone at this stream and commentating on it.
Yeah, it is difficult, I'm sure, because you see the incidents maybe 7-8 seconds after they have occurred on my screen, so it's difficult for you to do that. But yeah, Codemasters gives us a lot of different unique experiences which otherwise we would not be exposed to. Vintage player yet to cross the line. He's now through the final corner, just about now, and yeah, that's the end of the race. I think pretty eventful, I would say, and let's hope that we see a lot of overtaking action and battling for positions in the feature race as well. As Aubameyang makes his debut, and well, I want to see what he does, but we have a feature race to commentate on. Jin, do you want to try maybe?
If you can send me an invite, that would be great, because it's not letting me join the session as it was set to invite only.
Can you oh yeah, it's can you restart your PlayStation or something? But I don't think it will work, but maybe it's worth a shot. I can't send you an invite right now.
So I'm gonna restart my PS4, so I'll be off this party for in that meanwhile. So just handle the start of the.
Yeah. All right, so everyone, that's the end of the race. You can see Hushrav in P1 and Chipshima and not Sumer. In fact, how did not Sumer end up on the podium? I'm not sure. VFix in P4. Surely that's a glitch. Nupshan in P5, Pratham P6, P7 for Smitsha, Abdul Samad in P8, Shadow Sword in P9, and Vyom in P10 after starting on the front row. Right, so we now have a feature race, and that is, I think, a 14 lap race with one mandatory pit stop for everyone to make. Remember, they can make this pit stop only on lap 3 or later, and if they make a pit stop under the virtual safety car, that is not counted. So There are a few criteria in terms of how they have to make that mandatory pit stop, so it will be interesting to see what kind of tire strategies people use while they start the race. We're still waiting for players to load their setups and we'll be underway soon. Let's see if Jin can join us. Can I try inviting him now? I will quickly check. Sorry for the blue screen, and I cannot for some reason invite Jin. So Jin, I still can't invite you. An error has occurred. And
so I'll have to do blind commentating. Not exactly blind commentating, but let's just call it delayed commentating right now.
Yeah, and
me commentating right now, viewer. If you are old enough, you'll understand this reference that I'm about to make. Me commentating right now is, imagine when you were older and TV sets weren't exactly a thing in the household, so you'd listen to the radio where you had to imagine what was going on. That's kind of like what I'm doing right now. So yeah, there we go. 1990s reference for those who didn't understand those things. But let's see, tire choice seems pretty interesting. VFix and Pratham are on mediums. I think Madhav, if you remember, in the first race the softs lasted 10 laps. So I think their goal is to go 3-4 laps on these mediums and then put onto softs, softs and then
just pit at the just pit at the end of lap 4 maybe on softs. Get a huge undercut on probably others, because they would want their softs to last.
Yes. If you can maintain position right now and stay within DRS of the 4 people in front, for VFix at least, if he can stay within the DRS range of those 4 people in front, he has the biggest advantage here out of anyone in this race.
Right, so it's been, I think Abdul is a little bit far off from the rest of the field, so he will be catching up pretty soon. And interesting to see vintage Abdul Teeves on those red marked soft tires, so we'll monitor their starts as well. And the field is now bunching up and slowing down and preparing their tire temperatures for a race start. It's not a very long run down to turn 1 for the first braking zone, and if you get a good start you have to capitalize on that, because there isn't really a lot of second and third phase of the start, Jen. It's a very short run.
One phase. It's one on in F2 cars also, you know, like how in F1 they say there's a second phase of acceleration. Brandon loves to reiterate this over and over again.
Yes.
So in F2, it's just one phase of acceleration. If you get it right, you'll always maintain the momentum going on. So F2 starts are all about momentum, while in F1 you can be a bit dodgy at the first phase and then gain everything there is to gain in the second phase. So that's how this works.
Right. So everyone is now set on the grid, and we should be getting underway very, very soon. Let's see, it's great to see 19 drivers in, and
yes, 19 drivers plus 1 commentator,
plus 1 delayed commentator. And let me find a good angle for the start, which the game for some reason does not want to give me. Come on, game. There you go.
Instead of the game's angles, there should be the helicopter view should be allowed for the start. That would be so good to watch.
Yeah, and lights out, away we go. Shadowside has already jumped Racing Gupta for P3, and Racing Gupta might lose another position to VFix, who's driving down the inside. There's an incident there, and Shadowside has lost a lot of positions. VFix up into P5. Pratham has also jumped positions. He's up into P4. Up ahead, Not Somer and Hushraf keeping their advantage over the rest of the pack, and Vyom is now on the back of Chipshima. Let's see what these soft runners can do versus VFix and Pratham, who are on the mediums ahead of them.
So right now VFX's goal is to get past Pratham, because we saw from the last race Pratham was good in the first 3-4 laps and then his pace started dropping off. So if VFX, the more VFX stays behind Pratham, the more this damages his prospect of undercutting people in front of him. But of course I am not so sure what the undercut potential here in Jeddah exactly is.
It's a safety car, Jen, because Nova has retired. So has Yash Kosalia. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, we needed to see a lot of these happen in the season for it to be close. But
is that the first retirement of the season for Nova?
I think it is. I think
it could be.
And since it's a safety car, but still no one can pit. Remember this. So they have to do 3 laps on these tires. So as soon as the safety car, this has played into VFix's hand, because you do realize that as soon as the safety car ends, he just has to do 1 lap, which would be 4 in total. and then he pits for soft tires when the entire field is bunched up. So the only question for VFix now is he willing to stretch? Is he willing to undercut and battle to traffic and risk breaking a front wing and losing some time as well, or is he willing to go out long, pit on the same lap as the lead runners, and then do the best that he can from there? So a lot of strategy.
Someone is already pulling into the pits. That's Chip Shima. I hope he knows the F2 rules, or unless he has some damage, which is why he's pitting. But he's in the pits.
Let's see though. Right now, just stay on board with Chip Shima because I want to see if he has pit.
Yeah, Shadow Sword is in the pits as well.
So Shadow might have damage because he did lose a lot of positions at the start, and he gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
So no wing change for Chip Shima. Shadow has a wing change. And
so Chips is of course gonna get disqualified if he doesn't pit again. Shadow meanwhile had no option but to go with this. I'd much rather say that he should have gone till lap 3 because it is a safety car. He wouldn't be losing positions and then pit under, but then in racing conditions he'd have lost more time, so I can understand why Shadow's made the move that he has.
Right, and Vyom has a 5-second penalty for a collision with
Manan. No, Manan was the one who got that penalty. I don't think.
Yeah. Sorry, Manan had a penalty. I'm trying to see if he has damage now.
Speaking
because
of a 5-second penalty, have Barcelona scored a 5th goal yet, or what is this scenario?
No, we have. In fact, there's a red card for Dani Alves. So as Barcelona, we never want to have an easy game. We always like to complicate things for us, and that's exactly what we have done. 4-2 up. And now we've got a red card for our right back. So he'll be replaced. I mean, not him, but someone else will replace.
10-12 minutes must be left in the game.
No, 20 are left. It's minute 69. So plenty of time to go for Barcelona to bottle this. Safety car, I'm not sure if it will be in this lap. Shadow Sword is 20 plus seconds behind.
Quite far behind.
So it will come at the end of lap 3, which is also when you can make a pit stop and get away with it.
Yes, you have to cross the start-finish straight for this. So if some teams have their pit box before the start finish straight, then those teams are the ones which are in trouble.
You're getting so technical now, Jin. It shouldn't be this complicated, but unfortunately it is. And well, maybe fortunately it is. Maybe it's good that there are some regulations in place, and the safety car is definitely not coming in at the end of this lap. So we'll have one more lap around this beautiful circuit. Look at that shot, Jen, that final corner and the lights glowing in the night sky.
First time the camera has done something good for the viewers right there. Giving them such a good shot of this corner.
Yeah, but it's and it's a fun circuit to drive on. Jin, you drove around this track in the F1 race.
Yes.
What's the experience like? I've never driven this track in a league.
On this track, I think the most fun part is understanding the limits of this track first and foremost, because some of these corners, the way it extends is that you can take it all the way to the apex on the inside. It's like a more fun version of Monaco because you are so close to the walls, but there's so much more potential to be faster. Because it's in Monaco, there's that constant fear always, and I'm pretty sure anyone who's driven Monaco can relate to this. Is that even if you have a snap of under or oversteer, you're bound to break your front wing. In Jeddah, it's not like that; it's controllable. But the only problem with Jeddah is you do need to be very, very smart about the kind of overtakes you're going to pull off.
Right. So, Jen, we have a request from Vedant Thakur to explain the pit stop rules in F2. While you have done some bit of that, maybe if you can just summarize for our viewers once again.
So here's the thing. F2 has two races, the sprint and the feature. In the feature race, and only in the feature race, there is something called a mandatory pit stop. So for the mandatory pit stop, whatever set of tires you started on, you have to do 3 laps on those and then go on to the alternate compound. That is your one and only pit stop. So the thing with Chip Shima is, I think he pit because he saw a safety car. So he's trying to get what is known as a cheap pit stop, which would be completely fine in F1. But in F2, he has to pit again, as he has not done the requisite 3 laps on that compound of tires. So now, this means that it could very well mean that Chip Shima will be first, but he will get disqualified by the game. So if he's watching this, Chips, you do know that you need to pit again. But if you're not watching this, then I can't exactly tell. But why is this? Because it's a spec series, Thakur. So in a spec series, no team has an inherent advantage as such. So to bring racing closer together and make it fairer to other teams as well, the 3-lap rule exists in F2. Actually, in real F2, it's 6 laps, but since we do 50% races, it's 3 laps. 25% is 3 laps as well, just in case anyone wants to ask. I did try and test it out. So, yeah.
Right, so safety car is
That's
in
the
this
reason.
lap, and Not Somer has. He gets a 5-second penalty, but Not Somer is probably going to take this to the line. No, he has gone. And let's ride on board with Pratham, who has got a brilliant jump on Racing Gupta. He can't overtake until the track is green, and now the track is green. Is he going to go around the outside of Racing Gupta? Let's see who is braver on the brakes. And it is Pratham who's trying to go for it, and he has a contact with Racing Gupta. Has lost, well, no positions as such, but Manan
But he's
behind
lost
seems.
momentum. He's lost momentum.
Yeah,
Most
and
importantly,
maybe a
this.
part of his front wing. Yeah, there's definite damage on him. The left-handed side end plate is missing on his car, so he will be struggling a lot
But he
until
can
he.
pit now. He can pit
Yeah, he
now
can pit at the end
to.
of this
Yeah,
lap, but it will be an extra, I don't know, 5 seconds to change
no,
his
no, it's
wing.
8 seconds. It's 8
8
seconds in
seconds.
F2. Plus,
Oh,
the pit crew
F2
is also
kills
smaller.
me,
The pit crew
man.
is
The
smaller
pit to
as
the
well.
smaller, the budgets are not that great. Hoshrav, meanwhile, is trying to catch. Is that his teammate in Not Sumer? I wouldn't be very sure. The colors do look
Yeah, yeah,
similar.
they are in the same. No,
Alright,
no, they are
great.
not. They are in different teams. They are in different teams. Yes, sometimes it just slips my mind, because most of the teams are in similar liveries.
Yep. Riding on board with Vyom, who's definitely on the faster tire right now, is trying to catch Pratham, and Racing Gupta was lagging a bit for some
So I
time
don't
now.
mean to say this as a shot to Manan, but VFix is glad that Manan's the one behind him because it's 1.6 seconds already, and on a track as notorious as this for overtaking, that the longer Manan is there, the safer VFix's P6 spot is.
Yeah, here goes Pratham now. He's trying to go. He's trying to pick his line through the final corner, and he's trying to go round the outside of Racing Gupta. Gupta defends beautifully there. Pratham does not get a good exit, but now he will get slipstream, and all the while watching on board with Vyom. Gupta pulls into the pits. Pratham gets P3, and Not Sumer retains the lead up ahead.
I thought Pratham had damage, so surely him staying out is him hurting his own race, or was that Gupta who had damage?
Well, it definitely seemed like Pratham had damage, but maybe Gupta did have wing damage because the two collided and it was the fronts of their car which collided. So,
Yes,
Jin,
so
who's
as you
watching
can
this, will,
see,
or rather, Caesar, who's watching this, will remember this very clearly about this incident. But yeah, I think maybe Gupta did have damage and Pratham was luckier of the
look
two.
at this. Pratham has already lost 3 seconds to the top two. This means that longer Pratham is out there, and he gets a 3-second time penalty as well. The longer Pratham is out there in front of Vyom, the more time loss is happening to Vyom as well.
Yeah, and all that.
And
Where is VFix? So VFix has fallen down the order.
no,
In
VFX
fact, he
split.
has
VFX
spit. Yeah,
split.
he has spit.
So now
So
VFX will chase down Racing Gupta. Gupta is on the mediums, VFX is on the softs. So it's a 10 lap sprint for VFX right now. He's essentially made this a sprint race for himself with that 10 laps on softs. So this should be interesting to see. When do the top two decide to pull the trigger? It has to be this or the next lap in order to make sure that the undercut does not work. They have to pit as soon as possible. But let's see, lap 7 maybe.
here goes
Shima is
Vyom.
in P7, but remember that is not official for him because he only did 1 lap on the soft tire, so he's gonna get disqualified at this rate. He has to pull another pit stop. Here goes Vyom. Vyom is going, and Hushrav, meanwhile, Hushrav and Natsumi, they are side by side with each other. Does any one of them dive into the pits? The answer is no, they don't. I sounded like a Brazilian commentator, right? Oh, it's a BSC. It's a safety
It's a
car.
safety car. It's a full course safety car, and that will help out a lot of people. Quick killer straight away into the pits.
Vyom pit. As soon as the safety car came out, Vyom and Quick Killer have pitted. So Chips stays out. I know why Chips has stayed out, but he should have pit. This was the chance for him.
And I want to see where VFix comes out in all this. He has no pit stops to go. Racing Gupta is also going to the end. And let's see where Vyom comes out. Oh, Vyom, I think, is going to overtake both of them. Yeah, there you go. Racing Gupta will be behind Vyom and VFX will be behind him. So,
But here's the thing though, out of these three, right now, VFix has the fastest tires and he's hardly gonna have any wear on those tires.
yeah, no wear on the tires. So, him and Quick Killer are in very good positions right now. Chip Shima, should he have pit? Oh, Shadow Sword gets a 5-second penalty again for speeding in the pit lane. Maybe Chip should have pitted and got himself on a set of
I think
softs.
the issue here, Malav, you know what it is? I think Chip Shima is not familiar with F2 rules. For him, I think the lap one only work because he thinks that is the general consensus. Because if you drive a lot of F1 and are not familiar with the world of F2, this is bound to happen. And I certainly do not want a Stewart's inquiry where he says that the game disqualified him through no fault of his own. Because I believe by this point in season, this is the penultimate race, and we have commentated over. I mean, you have been missing for like 4 races, I'd say, this season.
Yeah.
But we have commentated quite about, let's say, 8 rounds at least. And from that, we have told time and again on the commentary, at least I have been saying that you need to do 3 laps on your current set of tires. And Natsume gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit
yes, he
lane.
does. Both of them pit. Chip Shima still goes on, so I'm very sure he is not aware of this rule. I want to see where Khushrov and Natsume come out with respect to Vyom, who's just on the main straight now. I think Vyom will overtake both of them, or will...
Vyom should get the overtake done. It's longer pit stops in F2.
Vyom is there, but it's going to be... I think both of them will comfortably be ahead of Vyom. So Vyom
But
in
here's
P4.
the thing now. Sumer has a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. If anything, Sumer has to drive so fast that he can make up a 5-second gap to whoever is behind him. And when you have a fast driver like Khushrov, that is not so easy unless he makes a colossal mistake, which ends up taking like from 2nd to 7th place out. So.
Right, so this should be interesting. Natsume's 5-second penalty was...
keep this in mind, Malav. Now Chip Shima is leading the race with 4-lap old mediums, and I know for a fact that he will fight tooth and nail for this position.
Yes, he will. Seemingly unaware of the rules, so he will fight for that position. And it will be interesting to see how Natsume and Khushrov can tackle him along with Vyom and Racing Gupta. But I am really keen to see the progress VFix makes in this last 7 laps. I think safety car should be in the next lap and definitely not this one. So I want to see what kind of aggression VFix shows.
Sid Venkatesh has actually put forward a good question. Was there a safety car when nobody had DNF? I think it could have happened in one of the narrower parts of the track where somebody might have had an incident. I think that might be Shadow Sword.
Possible. These are the questions said to be asked to Michael Massey. This track is such where sometimes a red flag was also been brought on the real life Grand Prix. So
a lot of drivers in real life Formula 1 did complain about, did say they were suffering from dizziness on this track, mainly because if you remember, Malav, there was that one incident where a VSC was out for 4 laps. And even in real life, they just get the notification that VSC is ending. They don't exactly know when it's going to end. So Charles Leclerc especially did say that he was having to weave around the car on this entire track in order to keep his tires up to temperature, and because of that he got so dizzy by the end of it that it was very tough for him to drive. So let's say IRL we ask Malav Masiji. So Malav Masi, the floor is all yours.
Well, I have absolutely no explanation why there's a safety car deployed. Maybe something we missed.
So you have the same explanation that Malav
Michael Massey, yes. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. That's the meme. You can put it in the comments if you ever could. But right, so Shadow Sword should be catching up at the end of this lap or towards the end of this lap, and we should be getting racing again.
Arav/Vicky644 is here. Fire him. We want replacement.
Is he asking me to fire me or the original Massey?
Which one, Arav? Could you just state? Okay, I think the safety car will come in this lap, but notice how spread out the field is, and the game works on this logic where you always have to have 2 racing laps, but since the 6 left, safety car could go on longer than 3 this time around.
I think it should be coming in. Oh, Smith is in the pits, so he will take longer. He might not join the back of the pack at this rate. Is he having a front wing change? He's just exited the pits, so maybe he was just having a compound change.
No, he went on to softs again, so these are fresh softs now. So Smith is probably looking to build his race on the back, because the thing with Smith is he has nothing to lose right now. So if
Yeah,
this
he
is a
was
gamble,
last anyway, so that's smart. And I think he'll catch up as well. So, props to him. I think that's the Azun strat, I call it. Uh, just spitting twice under the safety car and getting that compound change out of the way. As Vicky's asking me to leave motorsport. That is very, very harsh, Vicky. I'm not sure what I
yes,
did.
Vicky, number of podiums in Ireland this season, you can beat me 1 Aravawa 0. So that's the
Jin
slightest.
0. Forget Aravato.
No,
Number of
Jin
points.
0, number of points, Jin 0.
Right, the safety car is still not in.
Yes,
One
because
more
Smith
lap.
is so far out. Look at
Yeah,
how
it's
far
so
out
far
Smith is
out.
on the track, man.
So is he helping out the medium runners by staying out this long? I'm not
He
entirely
is
sure.
definitely because right now, yeah, uh, even if you have a compound difference of mediums and softs, getting overspeed on someone is gonna be so hard. So right now, it's just like the real life Jeddah race right now.
Yeah, let me just quickly check what comments we are getting in.
I got taken out on my best chance to get a podium side swipe. Aravadwa has just said.
Who was that? Who took you out, Vicky? I missed that maybe. It would have been in Division 2, I'm sure. But or was that last season you're referring to? As Noah is in the comments. Hello Noah, championship winner. And now a
Hey,
DNF noob.
this is the first week where we won't
Noah
have
is
to invite Noah
commentating.
for a party chat.
Noah, yeah, also the first week where Noah will not be joining the post race interviews, but yeah, also the first week where we have finally a comment from Noah on our IRL stream. Well, I say IRL stream, it's on my own channel once again. So, Caesar, please give me whatever earnings you have from the IRL channel of this video. But yeah, Noah, tell us what happened. I think you and Yash Gosalia collided. I see some message put by Yash in the Discord anyway, but give us your thoughts about what happened.
Noob driving from me, what else? I mean, no, it's being honest. So, here's the thing, if the safety car comes in this lap, that means we'll have DRS on 10-11, lap 12 onwards. Which leaves us 2 laps of racing. Natsumi has a 5-second penalty, so he's, with the way the current pack is right now from 1st to 7th, he's obviously going to lose a lot of positions for that 5-second penalty that he's got. And in Jeddah, you just can't break from the pack. No matter what you do.
So safety car is in this lap, and Racing Gupta and Vyom momentarily exchanged positions. Now they are back, and Vyom gets a 5-second time penalty.
Obviously, that
for
will be
collision.
removed. So that
Yeah,
would be
they're
an issue.
still somehow side by side, it seems, or are they fine now? Anyway, so Chip Shima is going to lead us for the final 5 laps on this track. He has a pit stop to make, which he's not sure of, or at least he's not aware of. Let's see where he decides to go. Riding on
gone.
board.
No, he's not.
He's not gone yet. He's going to take this to the line. Not somewhere is absolutely alongside him. Now Chip Shima has gone, and what a restart from Racing Gupta once again under safety car. He's a master at this, and down the inside he goes off Vyom. Let's hope there's no contact, but there was some, I think. Hustrav and Not Sumer are also battling. Hustrav has gotten P2 from him, so that is Hustrav. Oh no, Not Sumer fight backs, and Sumer has regained P2 for now, but he has a 5-second time penalty. Vyom has a 5-second as well. What is VFix up to on those soft tires? The best tires of anyone in top 6.
So Quick Killer is 1 lap fresher tires, but remember that VFix did do 1 racing lap as compared to 0 for Quick Killer. He did all of his under the safety car. So right now, Quick Killer holds the 1 lap advantage, but is it enough for him to offset someone with the pace of VFix?
Hustrav round the outside of Chip Shima, and Hustrav has the lead of the race. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. I think Abhi is losing a lot of positions. Azun lost a couple of positions as well. And now Not Somer is on the back of Chip Shima. Chip Shima, well, he's going to be disqualified if it doesn't pit at this rate. But he's also going to lose a lot of positions because his tires
he's going to lose all the positions because he's going to get disqualified. So,
oh, was that a change? No, I think there was some kind of mistake. But now Not Sumer on the back of Chip Shima once again. Chip Shima choosing the inside line. Yeah, Vyom has gotten past. Racing Gupta, and VFX is also trying to make his way through. Vintage player losing positions. And here goes Not Somewhere now.
It's Abhi, or it's Abhi again.
Yeah, and here goes Not Somewhere. Round the outside. Can he make this work? Can he break late and take Chipshima? No, he cannot. And
Oh
Chipshima,
yeah, he is ABS off, and in such corners, well, this is bound to happen right now. But Hushav is now extending his advantage. As such, the only option they have is if VFix can somehow get up to the leading pack right now. Otherwise, this race is Hushav's to win again. Oh, Gupta has gone off track. Not sure what happened there. Squeezes VFX either. Vyom is showing X for me on the screen, Malav, all the time.
Yeah, he was, but now Gupta losing one more position to Quick Killer. And
Gupta does have no front wing, I think. Gupta has no front wing.
Yeah, he has lost front wing elements. He does have a front wing, but he has lost some elements on that wing. So he's gonna lose a lot of time, and that is very unfortunate. Not Sumer once again on the back of Chipshima.
Now VFix has to get past Vyom, then he has to overtake the Not Sumi. Chipshima is gonna get disqualified anyhow. So
here goes Not Sumer down the inside. No, he does not. He stays behind for a few more corners. There is a long back straight coming up as well. Does he go for the move there? We have a beautiful helicopter shot. Look at that, Jin. That is Codemasters probably at their best right now with those camera angles. He's still trying to go around the down the inside. Yes, he will. This time he will make the move, and but on the main straight. Let's see what happens. Who has the DRS? No one, because DRS has not been enabled. I think VFX has made a move in the background. Yes, he has. So that's VFX up into
fourth place,
P4.
de facto third.
But,
de facto third right
yeah,
now.
but Vyom is going to fight back, and he has the inside line now. Is Vyom going to break late? Yes, he has. Oh, there's Quick Killer trying to make a very opportunistic move. And VFX around the outside. He will have the inside line for the next left-hander. Oh, VFX has been completely rounded there, and they have made collision, both of them.
Vyom should have left more space there.
Yeah, I think he got squeezed into the wall, I think, VFX.
And yeah, VFX was on the inside and then he got squeezed. So I mean, that right there is the definition of not leaving a car's width. And right now Sumer must be getting frustrated because he's stuck behind Chipshima. And Chipshima, there is one saving grace for him though. He'll get a notification on this lap that he has to pit to go on to the correct tire compound.
Yeah, and I think the game will also probably tell him that he has to do that to prevent disqualification. Yes. So let's hope the game actually does that, and let's see what. But not so many. It is surprising that despite being on the back, but now he's actually making that move. So he's proving me wrong as we speak. Not Sumer is going to sweep around the outside and has gone very deep into that corner. Probably got a warning in the process. But Hushtov with a 3.5 second gap is going to win this one unless he makes a mistake. Yeah?
Yes.
And now Shadow Sword on the back of Racing Gupta. Chipshima and Sumer are still fighting. And Chipshima is trying to hold it round the outside. He does a really good job at doing that. Shadow Sword has overtaken Racing Gupta on the softer tire. And can Chip now get Sumer? I think he'll be able to. There's a lot of overspeed on his car. Shadow Side has gone Vyom as well. Wow, it's 3 wide in the background. And
oh yeah, Shadow is on soft tires.
Yeah, so Chipshima up into P2 once again. Again frustrating Not Sumer. And Racing Gupta has overtaken Vyom. Quick Kill has retired. That's in the pits. Oh, Vyom!
What did Vyom do?
You'll see it in a moment.
Oh my god, that is so dangerous right there by
I mean, I don't want to pass any judgments in the heat of the moment, but he really needs to take a breath here and, reevaluate his...
I feel like as stewards, because we are stewards at the end of the day as well, as stewards we do need to have a very frank discussion with him, because these kinds of dive bombs, while look at...
I think that was Manan who lost it. Sorry for cutting you off, Jen. Manan completely lost it at the exit of the corner, and I think he has.
He did.
That's his wing gone. Not Sumer still on the back. So frustrating it would be for him to see.
Yes, but as I was saying, Malav, as stewards, I do feel like we do need to put out some sort of thing about this, because this kind of dive bombing comes off as a bit reckless. I'm just gonna put it that way. It just comes off as a bit reckless, and you know how it is. We get to know if Chip Shima is pitting or not. He didn't do three laps on the first set that he started on. If he doesn't dive into the pits right now, the game should probably read that he's disqualified, even if he's not.
Yeah, he's staying out and he's going to challenge Not Sumer, but Not Sumer will easily. And there you go, Chip Shima has been disqualified. Vyom and Racing Gupta continue their racing once again. And does Gupta try to go?
I will say one thing though, if Natsumi knew when Chip Shima had pitted, the only thing he would be saying right now is that why is this guy battling so hard in party chat. I'm 100% positive about this.
So Gupta into P4. Pratham has overtaken Vyom. And now Nabshan is also behind him. So, well, we are on the last lap. Husrav is going to win this one. But the battle for the podium maybe is still on. Nabshan might actually get a podium here because of the time penalties everyone has. And there he goes down the inside of Vyom. And Nabshan makes that move just about. Yes, it does, using that soft tires to good effect. And that's Nabshan into P6. No time penalties, remember, for him. So Pratham and Racing Gupta are both in danger here.
But remember, last week I don't think you were here for Austria, but do you remember what happened when Nabshan was P1 with 2 laps to go?
I was watching the stream and he did what Manan is usually an expert in doing. Manan losing a few more positions. Once again, Racing Gupta and Pratham have exchanged positions. Just about not, I'm not sure. But Nabshan is going to go all the way to the line. He has Vyom behind him.
Mirrors right now, because Vyom will, since it's the last lap, a dive bomb might be incoming from Vyom. So Nabshan needs to be very, very careful about what happens now from here till the last straight.
Hushrav has once again crossed the finish line. I'm really sorry, Hushrav, for not giving you enough footage this race and the last race. But Racing Gupta will finish ahead of Pratham. But oh, that was so close, Pratham. And Nabshan gets P4, Shadow Sword gets P3, and look at that, Nabshan missing out on the podium just by 6/10 of a second. Pratham finishes P6, Vintage in P7, Azun in P8, Smith in P9, VFX P10. I'm not sure how many time penalties Vyom had. He's down in P13, and remember he was just behind.
Check it in the final race director. So
yeah, let me see right now. It's not showing, it's showing a checkered flag. Yeah, so we'll see it later, but that is the end of the race. Manan in P11. Is that the last point playing position, or is it P12? Alright, 10th. Manan in P11, Abdul in P12, Vyom down in P13, Teves in P14, and Abhi is the last of the finishers in P15. We had 4 DNFs. In fact, 3 DNFs and 1 DSQ in Yash Gosalia, Noah West, Quick Killer, and Chip Shima. Probably should have given the F2 rules a bit of a read before coming in, but nonetheless it was a good show from him, Chip Shima. Nothing to take away from that. He had a good sprint race and a feature race, so space wise that was very strong from him.
And as we speak right now, in the middle of this entire race, Caesar updated the series stewards report for Austria.
I mean, that is very, very cheeky, Caesar, but yeah, shame on you for not doing that before the race started. Right, so Jin, can you invite Hushrav, Sumer, and who was it?
Check Discord right now. Check Discord right now.
Okay, let me do that. Oh, there's already a report? No,
there's no report. It's in the general chats right now.
Oh, Chip Shima, no. Whew. Anyway, so Hushrav, Not Sume, and Shadow Sword are the people we need to invite. I think Hushrav won the first race as well, if I'm not wrong, the sprint race. Yes, he did. So that's the 3 people we need to speak with. And wow, that was a lot of racing, considering I was skeptical at the start of the stream whether we will get enough racing from this track, but the drivers did not disappoint. And all 3 of our podium winners. Oh, again, there's a glitch. Nabshan has finished P3 apparently on the timing screen. I don't know why this is a glitch. Yeah, I know it. It was you P3, Nuption P4. It happened with VFix as well. He was dropped to P4 for some weird reason. So yeah, we'll go ahead with you. So yeah, Shadow Swords, Sumer, Hushrav, all three of you. I hope
No, no,
that you
that's the
have.
results for the weekend. Just go to R, press R1 and go to results for the feature race.
Oh, got it, got it, got it. My bad. See, this is why I should not handle streams for F2. But all right. So Shadow Sword, we'll start with you. Just take us through your race. It was a bit of a hectic start, I think. But then I think you got into the rhythm, and while we did not give you enough footage, so I'm sorry for that. But just take us to your sprint race as well.
What do you mean, man? I think okay. So the sprint race, I knew Bhushram didn't leave me enough space in the no, I'm kidding. I braked way too late and I made a lunge on the first corner and I got spun around. So that was okay starting from the back. Then I broke my wing going into the back of Nishan when Nova crashed. So I had to box then under the first safety car. Luckily, there's a safety car. So yeah, I boxed then, and freaking I boxed onto like my old softs from the like the first race. So I had to box again, and yeah, then I came out and there was another safety car or something. Luckily, so I was behind Chip's Chima and he was going super slow on the S's, so I got a bit thrown off there and crashed. So I had to box again, and then I was on the end of the after the back of the field. And I don't know what has happened, man. I'll send the footage later. But yeah, it was just a crazy drive, really fun. I touched Gupta a few times. I'm sure he's gonna be mad. So I don't know.
Yeah, you'll be hearing from him, Shadow.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah,
it was good.
great
And,
race
yeah, big
from you
shout out to
nonetheless.
Vyom. He let me by because he had a lot of penalties and he held up Gupta a bit. So that was good. Shout out to him.
Right, Jin, any
Yeah.
questions for Shadow?
I don't have any questions as such. But a brilliant race by Shadow, even though like he was the least covered driver in the top three. I mean, top three is still top three at the end of the day. So great drive, Shadow. Considering you had to pit thrice, that is a massive, massive job right there. And yeah, once again, mega drive by you around Jeddah. So hopefully, this track brings you more luck in the future.
Yeah. Cheers. I'll watch the comms. See you guys.
Yeah. We move on to P2 now, Natsumi. Unfortunate that you got that 5-second penalty, and then because Chips didn't really know the rules in the feature race, well, I mean, you got stuck behind him for a long, long time. But apart from those two incidents, how was your race like as such? From because you and Hushraf were pretty close in the first stint.
Yeah, so I'll start from the sprint race. The sprint race was good. I made a few positions initially, but then um, of course, you must have noticed that there were so many battles. Like the battle for P3 was between 4 cars. So I really got caught up in that, and I really got stuck behind those drivers. And because of that, I couldn't go as high up in the field as I wanted to, because of the amount of cars battling for P3. And yeah, so that was my entire sprint race basically. Just keep fighting with those 4 cars, and the feature race was a bit unlucky because I broke my wing on lap 5, I think. Or I don't know, after the first safety car ended, I broke my wing. And because of that, I was really understeering on the S's and losing a lot of time. And then the unfortunate pit lane, I just have this really bad habit of following the racing line. And according to the racing line, I was on the correct speed, but I wasn't. So I got the 5 seconds for that. And then I was fighting Chips Chima for the after the second safety car, and yeah, that just a lot of battles, and it wasn't very clean, I would say. A lot of lunges and dive bombs by many drivers, but it's fine. I'll take the P2. It's good enough. And congratulations to Hushrav and Shadow for the podium.
Hushraf, Malav, would you like to ask anything to Natsumi before we move on to Hushraf?
Yeah, something for Sumer and Hushraf both, in fact. So when you were racing Chipshima, did you know that he has to pit again?
No.
So or did you?
No clue. I thought he was on some alternate strategy or something. I had no clue he hadn't bid yet.
But I mean, Hushrav, congrats on pulling the double this weekend. For you were the one who just texted, didn't you, that you had done like 0 laps of Jeddah or something, and then... Okay, but I mean, all in all, the scenario worked out perfectly for you, wherein you got past Chips, and then because Chips was unfamiliar with the rules, well, he held everyone up, and it was quite a. Was it like a Sunday drive for you from that point onwards once you were past Chips, or were you just pushing? Alright, Malav, if you have any questions for Hushra?
Not really. I think congratulations, Hoshra. Really great job winning both the races. Something which we are not familiar with, apart from except for Nova to do that. So thank you for breaking that streak of his. And yeah, great pace overall, especially in the sprint race where you had to do some overtaking to get that P1.
But yeah, I guess that is all the questions for today. I mean, a fantastic race around Jeddah. Sprint race was pretty clean, no safety cars as such. 2 safety cars in the feature race, but close racing. Even though the top 2 in both the races did end up with a margin, with a quite a sizable gap to each other. But that being said, thank you so much once again for joining me in Malav and take care of the stream when we had a technical issue from my side. But yeah, all things considered, great race by everyone. See you next week for the finale in Abu Dhabi. And yeah, thank you for sticking with us for this season. Madhav, if you'd like to say anything before we end the stream.
No, I think that's pretty much it. I'm happy that Barcelona won, so that is
Right.
I'm happy, and it was a great race from everyone. So thank you for joining. Hopefully next week we will stream on the actual IRL channel and not this one. I will strike a deal with. I'm planning to acquire IRL YouTube if I can. I'll have a word with Caesar on that. But on that note, I think we can end the stream then.
Goodbye and good night, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week with the season finale around Abu Dhabi.
Bye bye.